just mentioned, when we discuss budget 2026, we're not talking about just arithmetic. We're not talking about allocations. For years and years, we've seen that. Here we are looking at direction. We're looking at delivery. And we're looking at development. And that's the key of it all. Now, when you see the budget, obviously, as Deveshji pointed out, it's not in just isolation, right? It is a part of India's transformation journey, which began in 2014. And this is a trajectory, and we're working towards the idea of Viksit Bharat, from a developing nation to a developed nation, Viksit Bharat. And this journey continues. And we all are passengers, co-travelers as part of this journey. Now, we've always had this yesteryears, a very fragmented welfare to system-based delivery. There was so much leakage when it came to spending. When it came to outcomes, there was little to show. But we can see that this budget, like other budgets, is about growth with fiscal responsibility. Now, overall, when you talk about the budget, it's obvious, and I'm sure all of you know it, we've discussed it threadbare, is the emphasis has been on infrastructure, very crucial to Meghalaya and to Northeast, manufacturing, skilling, innovation, and clean governance. So when we talk about Northeast, something significant has happened. And really last 10 years, almost 11, we are looking at another vision altogether, strategy for Northeast, and the results are for all of us to see and savor. Now, as you all know that, the 8 northeastern states together are 3% of India's GDP. But what is important is a trajectory. What are we working towards? We all know that the literacy rate of Northeast is much higher than the national average. We also know that the 85% of districts in all of Northeast are front runners on development indicators. So when you look at various indices on development, socio-economic, you realize that 85% of districts in Northeast, for the very first time, are really front runners and are way ahead. Look at the transformation that has happened since 14 years. And of course, we all know, and I think many of us are aware of it, and we savor and enjoy it, all the connectivity there is. So where there's rail connectivity and, investment overall in roadways, it's for all of us to see. 21,000 crores has been invested in education infrastructure in this whole region since 2014. Northeast today, we believe it is just not India's periphery, but it is very much a gateway to growth, trade, and opportunity. Let's come specifically to Meghalaya. My friends, I'm proud to say this, that the delivery and the outcomes have been wonderful, and it just shows the commitment of the center to Meghalaya state. So for Meghalaya itself, the 2014, the public expenditure was 6,811 crores, which is now increased fourfold, 4 times more, almost, to 23,476 crores. And if you look at it, you realize that, there has been so much transformation in the state itself. We're looking at a GSDT, which is the GDP of a state, of 7,000 crores, 64,700 crores. Now, some important facts that is very important, and I must say that our state, Meghalaya state, I'm here, and I consider it my state also as part of my country. So it's an honor for me to say this, and you know it, that the state has recorded average double-digit growth over the last decade. 80% of Meghalaya's population lives in rural areas, which is why it was very important for us to look at road connectivity. And I will tell you in terms of kilometrage, how much the roadways, how much the entire, how much they have increased, and what a huge jump there is in what the connectivity was and now. Agriculture, of course, is 22% of the state economy. And if you look at overall the budget 2026, it empowers Meghalaya through a higher tax devolution. And now we're looking at 9,600 crores given to the state, which is untied funds, specifically for states' development. So 9,600 crores specifically as untied funds, more flexibility, And of course, it means greater responsibility. What does that translate into? What does this 9,600 crores mean to a citizen of Meghalaya, to you and me, to every brother and sister of Meghalaya? Connectivity. We're looking at hill areas, feeder roads, and which is also and the digital backbone. Tourism as a year-round livelihood. You know, I had the privilege and the pleasure to go to Doki, and I just saw how beautiful it was. Can you imagine how important it can be as an economy and as livelihood for our local brothers and sisters? So it just shouldn't be a seasonal income, but a year-long livelihood. Agri-value addition, which means processing, branding and exporting. Youth skilling and entrepreneurship, very, very important. So migration is a choice. It is not a compulsion. Friends, earlier budgets have failed, and I'm not blaming them. I'm not saying that they were wrong to do it or they did not plan it better. Intentions, I'm not saying were wrong, but the delivery systems were very weak. So what at the center, what has been done under the leadership of Prime Minister Modi ji is that the delivery systems have become so much better and leakage free. So 2014, you all know, and I want to give a small perspective. It's important for us to give you the overall, the vision that we started with JAM Trinity, Jan Dhan Yojana, Aadhaar, and mobile telephony. Wherever I go in the interiors, and even whether it was a boatman or the chai wala, and I love the lal chai here, everybody had the UPI, and I could pay through my phone, and I think that's huge because everybody is connected.